Hello. I'm very glad to be here today with Father Melvin Nyanti Gaye. He's a Liberian priest, he's diocesan. He is now the Vicar General in the Diocese of Cape Palmas, and we welcome you to our house. Hi, Melvin.
Thank you so much, Father Gustavo, for having me here.
Oh, please. Well, I would like to talk with you about the presence of the SMA in Liberia. So I would like if you can recount to us a little bit about the history of the church in Liberia, especially in your diocese of Cape Palmas.
Thank you. The Church of Cape Palmas, I would say the Church of Liberia, was started by the SMA Fathers. And the SMA Fathers made a lot of sacrifice. You know, priests at a young age, 25, 26, 24, giving their lives for the service of God and men, and they died in the missions, you know, in Betu and Sasstown. There's the more reason why we make pilgrimage to Sasstown now. Because there was one time Sasstown was considered the headquarters of the Catholic Church in Liberia. You know, the old structure of the missionaries, the old structure where they lived in was there. 2 rooms, like dormitories. Everybody stayed in the same room. And there was a sign, and old people tell us stories about then. The fathers were not people who distanced themselves from the community in which they lived during those days. They were part of the community. They helped the people a lot to improve their lives. So I would say the church, the SMAs, I would say, are the apostles, like Paul, of the Church of Liberia, because of their great work.
So you saw how was the situation of the church in the past, established and growing with the SMA. How it is now, the church in Liberia? Is growing strong? How many dioceses? How many priests, diocesan priests?
Yes, the church is growing, though there are challenges. Before I became a priest, there were a lot of SMA fathers in the missions, in Liberia. And then they helped, in fact, to recruit indigenous priests to be diocesan priests. And first and foremost, their concentration was on helping Liberia to get its own priests. And they supported that a lot. Presently, in fact, the hierarchy of the church in Liberia, I would say, is indigenous. And it was the SMA people, the SMA fathers that helped the process with that. You know, that helped make that process for the church to be an indigenous church. They also encourage vocations. So presently, we have in the Diocese of Cape Palmas about more than 22 priests. Yes, some died, some left the priesthood, but presently we have more than 22 priests. Then in December we'll be having ordination, priestly ordination. So we expect 2 more to add to that number. Yeah, and the bishops in Liberia in the church are all Liberian bishops. But if you ask most priests, you know, most priests, especially the elderly ones, they will tell you they gain their vocations through the SMA Fathers.
Is that your case?
That indeed is my case. When I was growing up, the only priest I knew was Father Finney. And I was so close to Father Finney, going to school, going to elementary school. And then I was in the 2nd grade, you know, elementary school, when I told him I wanted to be a priest. He said, "Oh, you're serious?" I said, "Yes, I want to be a priest." He said, "Okay, wait and see." So when Father David Ray was being ordained as a priest, I was elementary school, small, and he took me to that ordination, you know, to see, to witness. And that, in fact, increased my desire to be a priest. And one thing that attracted me to the priesthood was when you say in the prayers, you know, the consecration prayers, and Father Finney would stretch his arms, so I was just taken away by that, you know. And surprisingly, he told the bishop, and when I was in 7th grade, at that time they couldn't allow people in 7th grade in the minor seminary. The bishop came to the parish for making a visitation, and then he sent for me. When I went there, he said, when school opens, you go to the minor seminary. Just like that.
Wow.
You know, just like that. And then I went to the minor seminary, you know. I went to the minor seminary. And while at the minor seminary, most of the rectors I met at the minor seminary were SMA Fathers.
They were all SMA
like
Fathers.
Father Frank Fellow,
Mhm.
you know, and other fathers were SMA Fathers.
So we can say that you really are a witness of the SMA Fathers work in Liberia.
Of course, I am a witness because I went to Catholic school from start to the end. All the schools I went to in my life were Catholic schools. And I would tell you that the fathers really, really did work, apart from building churches, apart from spreading the word of God. Education was one thing they used also to help change the life of the people for the better. And they were not just only teaching and giving book knowledge, but they were helping people to be better human beings. You know, the morality you practice in the school will be part of you, and you take it to the society. Moreover, they work among poor people, very poor communities. People who had never money to go to school. And you see, most of the SMA fathers, they were able to sponsor people in school up to university level, help to train people, doctors, nurses, teachers. And that was a big contribution to Liberia. And even Helen Johnson Sirleaf, when she was president of Liberia, admitted that because most of her cabinet, members of the cabinet, went to Catholic schools. And Catholic schools were among the best schools in Liberia, that even Muslims would fight to go to Catholic school. And all because of the SMA Fathers.
That's good. That's good. We are glad that for the work done, no? So, I know that now, as you say, you have more than 20 priests, diocesan priests, and the presence of the SMA in Palmas is very small, no? We are just present still in the parish of Southtown, Christ the King. So, but sometimes people ask us, no? Bono, if there are so many African priests, so many native clergy, so do we still need to send more missionaries? Do we need still send more missionaries to Liberia?
Of course. There are a lot of work. And we still need the presence of the SMA Fathers. Because even with that number of priests present in the Diocese of Cape Palmas, there are still places without priests. We still need to open more missions within our territories. And we'll be very happy to have more SMA Fathers on the ground, taking into consideration what they have done before, and that will actually help us, and that we will always remain partners with them.
So you need more priests. What about we can send you lay missionaries? They will have something to do in Cape Palmas.
Yeah, of course. Lay missionaries will have something to do in Cape Palmas. We'll look at our needs, the areas we need them, and we'll say if you can help us with somebody in this area or in this area, that will help us a lot. You know, the lay missionary program is a good one. They have worked in Liberia before. They have made contributions. You know, apart from SMA priests, SMA lay missionaries have worked there. Teresa Hicks worked in Plebo for a very, very long time at the clinic. And people in Plebo still remember that name. You know, lay missionaries are people who will also need, depending on our needs. And we'll be very glad to have them if they can help to fill in the gaps in our society.
Okay, well, thank you very much, and the challenge is there. We need to send more missionaries to Liberia, to the Diocese of Cape Palmas, and Father Melvin Nyanti Gaye, he is asking us to help them. So we'll pray for the continuous growing of the church in Liberia, and we'll commit ourselves once again to help the church in Liberia. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Nyanti Gaye.
Thank you.